My name is Andres. This is the Baking Steel Studio. We are making Puffy pizza today. Last week, as you know, we made our Puffy pizza dough, and this is like a follow-up to it. And what makes it puffy? And really, it's the dough, but it's also the way we stretch the pie out. And that's kind of what we'll get to today. So let's get right into this. And then afterwards, we're going to answer all your questions if you have any, and we can go over making the dough again, the fermentation time, the flours, and all the ingredients we're using today. Okay, so let's get right to it. I'm going to change up the camera angles. So I've got my dough proofing in my box. These are about 250 grams. So first things first, I want to flour up in front of me. This is a combination of flour and semolina flour. And now, oh, this dough smells magnifico. And just plop it down right into the flour. Okay, and I'm going to coat both sides with this. You can see that lighting's beautiful, right? And I'm just doing this so it won't stick. And then once this is done, I'm just going to lightly kind of press. And the idea is not to stretch this too far because I want this thing to explode on my baking steel. Meaning I want this crust to kind of really spring. And the bubbles we keep. It's beautiful, isn't it? It feels like a cloud. So when I get to, almost to where I want it to be, and now some people will kind of work around the perimeter and kind of leave the crust. Some people will flatten the crust. I'm indifferent. I change it up. I do both, to be honest. But since we're making a puffy pizza today, I'm going to try to exaggerate the border, if you will, the crust as big as I can. So I would normally stretch this to 12 inches. I'm going to stretch this to about 9 or 10. Same amount of dough, just going to make it a different size. My pizza peel, I just place a little flour down on it. And semolina flour. All right, put that aside for a second. I'm going to kind of Zamboni my workspace here. Place my flour back, my dough back down. And now I'm going to kind of give it a little stretch. Gravity. Move my peel back. Place my dough right on top. Okay. Not very big, right? This peel is 14 inches. So you got to figure probably this is around 9. It's a good guess. And I can still pinch my edges here. Before I do sauce, before I do cheese, I got to give this thing a little jiggle. It's sliding like a hockey puck. Really, really important. We get one more little stretch. Place it down. It's gorgeous, right? Let's get into my sauce using Bianco di Napoli sauce. And just place a little dollop in the center. A little bit. And I want to go really light on my toppings because I want this dough to really puff up. So the less weight I put on top, the more it's going to puff, right? And now for my cheese, I have fresh mozzarella and shredded fontina, okay? And now I'm going to do is just kind of lightly cheese my pie. Again, I'm kind of more apt to throw it in the center so I can get those edges to really puff up, right? A little bit of fresh mozz, right? And that's it. Maybe take a little oil and just kind of lightly oil it up. I've got my pie stretched out, right? And now I'm going to do, my oven's been preheating. So I'm going to go over to my my oven and I'm going to switch it to broil. I switch it to broil and high. So I preheated my baking steel in my oven at 450 for the last hour. And the reason 450 versus 500 is because now I'm going to use the broiler, and my oven is smart. It's like got a lot of electronics on it. It's beautiful, but if I preheated at 500 and then switched it, it would take longer for that broiler to kick in. So we figured out the rhythm of my oven. So I know if I preheat it at 450 versus 500, when I go to switch it to broil, it will almost instantaneously kick that broiler on, which is awesome because I want to launch this thing with my broiler fired on all cylinders. Before I go in, I'm gonna give this thing one last jiggle again. It's still loose like a puck, right? Really critical. Isn't that beautiful? And now slide my rack off, back of the peel to the back of the steel, and just kind of slide. Super easy. I close my oven. All right, so I've got my broiler still on. You can see I've got some really nice color on top. So I'm just going to rotate it, turn the broiler off, and put it back on convection. And now I can go to 500. I'll go to 475. I gotta be careful not to set my fire alarm off. I've done that a few times in here too. But anyway, to remove, I'm gonna show you how I remove so you can see. To remove this, I just kind of open up my oven again. I work fast with my fingers, just kind of slide it on, boom, I'm done. Isn't that cool? And awesome, right? The bubbles kind of popped, got some nice char, nice color. It's gorgeous. So again, there it is, right? Beautiful underneath, crispy, it's gonna be so good.